So picture this. You're making a massive, high-stakes decision for your Agile team, but you're doing it based purely on, well, a gut feeling. We've all been there, right? Or maybe you've tried to measure success, but the metrics you used just didn't seem to reflect the actual value being delivered. It is a huge challenge in the modern workplace. How exactly do Agile leaders steer their organizations, adapt to change, and make these high-level strategic decisions without relying on sheer guesswork? Well, today we're diving into a structured approach designed to solve exactly that problem. Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through today's topic. We're going to be demystifying a very specific, highly targeted learning resource, the AA-ADEMI PAL-EBM certification training course. Now, to put this into perspective, a surprising 47% of Agile transformations fail to actually deliver measurable business value. That means leading an Agile team clearly requires a lot more than just understanding the framework. It requires hard data. So let's break down exactly how this course aims to turn you into a more effective, evidence-driven leader. Okay, let's look at the agenda really quick. We're going on a structured journey today. 1. Mastering evidence-based management. 2. Inside the course curriculum. 3. Proven learning methodologies. 4. Real-world leadership application. And finally, 5. Enrollment details and logistics. Let's get right into it. All right, starting with Section 1. Mastering evidence-based management. The what? First things first, we've got to unpack this acronym, PAL-EBM. It stands for Professional Agile Leadership Evidence-Based Management. And look, this isn't just another Agile buzzword. The PAL-EBM certification is specifically built for leaders who want to use empirical data to achieve, concretely better outcomes. The entire premise here is shifting away from subjective opinions, those gut feelings we talked about, and moving toward a model where actual evidence dictates your strategic choices. And that brings us right to the core philosophy driving this whole framework, empiricism. Now, if you've been in the Agile space for a while, you've definitely heard the word. But in the context of this AADME course, it has a highly specific application. Essentially, empiricism means relying on empirical data, setting exceptionally clear goals, and utilizing continuous improvement to guide your change and strategic decisions. So the really crucial point here is that this training is built around the latest official Scrum.org EBM framework, and it teaches you how to use that empirical evidence to measure progress and actually improve your value delivery. Moving right along, let's look at Section 2, inside the course curriculum, the how. Think of me as your academic guide for a second as we walk through this syllabus. The course is segmented into 4 distinct parts to totally optimize your prep. It kicks off with a dedicated study plan tailored for the PAL-EBM exam, ensuring you know exactly what to tackle and when. Next, you hit study methods and key points, setting up your core strategy. Then comes the real meat of it, the knowledge explanation, where the deep learning actually happens. And finally, it caps off with practice questions and answers to test your readiness. It's just a super logical flow, right? Designed to build your capabilities step by step. Now, if we zoom in on that third pillar, the knowledge explanation, you can see the specific domains you're going to master. And this is vital because these are the exact areas evaluated by the official Scrum.org assessments. You're going to dive deep into understanding and applying the Scrum framework, managing products with agility, and evolving the Agile organization, plus some additional topics. It's not just reading a manual, it's about getting contextual examples and focus reinforcement in the literal exact areas you'll be tested on. All right, up next is Section 3, Proven Learning Methodologies, the Science of Study. So AD Academy explicitly distances itself from promising shortcuts or magical guaranteed results. I mean, we all know those don't really work anyway. Instead, their focus is entirely on meaningful learning and realistic preparation. And this brilliantly illustrates their overall philosophy. They aren't just teaching you to pass a test. They're treating you like a professional who needs to deeply internalize these concepts so you can actually use them out there in the real world. To achieve that kind of deep internalization, the course leans heavily on specific cognitive strategies. The first one is active recall. This is baked right into their online practice exercises. Instead of passively rereading text over and over, which we've all done, you are constantly prompted to pull information from your own memory. This active testing is scientifically proven to build true confidence and dramatically improve retention right when you need it most, ahead of exam day. And paired right with active recall is spaced repetition. Remember that structured study plan we looked at earlier? Well, it ensures you are returning to key concepts over calculated intervals of time. By reviewing the knowledge explanations and taking the simulated online exercises repeatedly over time, you are basically ensuring long-term mastery. It guarantees you won't just cram the night before, scrape by on the test, and then instantly forget the whole shebang by the next morning. Let's pivot to Section 4, Real-World Leadership Application, the why. So what are the highly tangible skills you walk away with? Well, we are talking about hypothesis-driven leadership. This means treating your business strategies as actual experiments that need to be validated. You're going to learn how to utilize outcome-focused metrics instead of just measuring output or busy work. You'll define key value areas and master exactly how to inspect and adapt based on measurable empirical outcomes. And here's the best part. When you bring these skills back to your organization, they instantly translate into better transparency, tighter alignment, and continuous improvement across your entire team. It's a real game changer. I actually want to read this quote directly from the source material because it just hits the nail on the head. These skills are directly applicable in professional environments, making the course valuable beyond the certification itself. Ultimately, this is all about your long-term professional growth. The certification, yeah, it's a fantastic milestone for sure, but the analytical mindset you develop, that is what will actually change the trajectory of your career. All right, wrapping up with Section 5, Enrollment Details and Logistics. What's genuinely impressive on this front is the sheer volume of practical resources included. 524. That is the exact number of practice questions and answers included in this course. It's an incredibly robust pool of simulated exercises, giving you plenty of runway to really test your knowledge. And notably, the source text highlights that this material is updated as of January 2026, meaning you are studying the absolute most current iteration of the framework. Also detailed in the source is a highly time-sensitive promotion. Right now, there's a deal offering 30% off the digital materials, dropping the standard price from $68 down to just $29.99. Now, quick heads up, it is worth noting that physical copies aren't eligible for this or any other promos. But for digital access, it's a pretty massive reduction if you catch it before the timer runs out. Anatomy doesn't just offer this single course, by the way. They actually have a massive ecosystem of related Agile prep materials. For example, the Professional Scrum Master 1 course features 301 Q&As. Product Owner 1 has 676, and the Advanced Product Owner 2 has a staggering 1,221 Q&As. The whole thing is designed to be a hub for continuous learning, basically supporting every single phase of an Agile practitioner's journey with in-depth lectures and systematic study plans. So we've covered the definitions, the curriculum, the learning science, and the tangible career benefits of the PAL-EBM training course. I want to leave you with this final thought to consider. How will outcome-focused metrics change your leadership style tomorrow? Think about it. If you completely strip away the guesswork and replace it with hard empirical evidence, what new possibilities open up for your team? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.